I don't know, it's just more like I just see this as like, imagine like the top of my head was just open and someone just poured all this shit in there, and then you add a lot of LSD, and then something comes out the other end, I guess.
Just who are you? A spaceman?
It's actually having like a collection like this requires like a lot of maintenance, because you know, sometimes when you're like fucking your girlfriend's brains out and all the toys come falling down, it's like gets a little you gotta go back and like set it up again. You know, I just happened to grow up at the time when the action figure was really coming into its golden age, and I was just right there, and I was just some typical American kid with a generous mom, and I just sucked it all up. The Micronauts, obviously. I mean, the first thing I was really into, I think most people who are my age were the Fisher-Price Peg people. And then, of course, Star Wars came out. Everybody got into that. I mean, I can't think of anything original to say about the meaningfulness of the Star Wars figures, but then after that, you know, it blew up with G.I. Joe and He-Man. I was really into Masters of the Universe, like especially all the bad guys. The bad guys were always so much cooler, you know, the Spike or purple guy with spikes. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. And here's Evelyn. My theory is that all the women on Masters of the Universe are lesbians. And they always had these thick legs, which I always got into. They were cool. But then the superpowers came up. Here's Thanos. And he had these kind of, I'm so mad action, which was nice. It's my favorite action figure of all time. The classic Greedo. Just that green and the aqua blue, it just does it for me. I don't know why. And the little penis, the little bump where his penis is. I don't know who put that in there, but it's awesome. I don't know, I just intuitively knew. I took like a bar of soap and pressed the figure into it to make a mold. And then I remember taking green crayons and melting them on the radiator and pouring them into the mold, into the soap to try to make a cast of this. And it failed, but that was my thinking. And now, almost 30 years later, I finally figured out how to do it for real. One reason why I always like never dialed into the vinyl scene is because I was jealous. It was like, that should be me, this is my history, why aren't I doing that? I got so fucking pissed that I couldn't get a toy deal and went through everybody. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make it myself, and I'm gonna make the worst fucking thing I can think of. So I did this. I was like, I like Star Wars figures. I'm just gonna make a fake Star Wars figure. I'm gonna make it suck really bad. And I made this, the Sucklord 66. I made 48 of these. It says, you're an asshole for buying it. Splattered paint all over it. Just wanted it to just look like a terrible, awful bootleg. It's like, if I can't get a real deal, then I'm just gonna go to the dark side. And that's when I really started coalescing my whole supervillain idea. Of course, I love the uplifting things in Star Wars and Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings about all these people sacrificing themselves for this greater good. And I guess if George Bush and Dick Cheney's fascist army came marching down the street, I'd probably have to join the rebellion and fight them. I would do that. And you know, I do nice things. I help old ladies across the street, you know, per se, but the world rewards being selfish. It's like I do believe in the anti-hero and that nobody in the world is really trying to do good. Everybody is trying to enrich themselves. In a world where there are no heroes, everybody by default becomes a villain. That's kind of more my spin on it. The shit starts out, I got this box of all the little figure parts and shit. I mean, this is a lot of fun, just having all this crap to play with, you know. I cobble the figures together out of just various other toys. And then once that part is done, you make a silicone mold. Sort of suspend the figure, pour the silicone around it. It's a fucking huge pain in the ass. Then you get into the casting. I'm giving away all my fucking trade secrets here. If anybody wants to rip this off, feel free, man. I wouldn't wish this fucking life on anybody. I do all my measurements by eye. So yeah, sometimes you can actually get a wide variety of colors, but I think that's kind of what makes it interesting. And they all gotta be drilled and assembled, and you gotta cut the flash off. It's a lot of work. And then I gotta do the packaging too, which is another pain in the ass, you know. I got these blister packs here, and you just tape them on. Gotta have this shit. This is the Sucklord 16. I wanted to like make like a sort of ancient version of him, like a medieval style Sucklord, just to start screwing around with the mythology. So I made him all black, and then I made the package black. I just wanted to do like a black album. It's like a Dr. Doom body with clone trooper legs, a Boba Fett helmet, and I used some Micronaut parts to make the spikes on his helmet. Now this one is called the Star Chump. He's the sequel to the Galactic Jerkbag. This is sort of like an idea of just like these really inept space aliens that just become your friends and then fuck everything up, you know, like so many people we might know. This is the Gay Empire. This is the second thing I ever did after the 66. I thought, like, what if I make stormtroopers in different colors? And then what if I make a pink one? Oh, well, if he's pink, does that mean he's gay? And what would that mean if a stormtrooper was gay? I beefed up the codpiece here, just like very well. If he's gay, he's got to be hung. So I built this up. I think it works. And then the last one is this proto-villain. Kind of just thought up the idea of like, what if I just made a joke and pretended like I invented Darth Vader myself?
Just who are you? A spaceman?
I was always into the 3 3/4 line. I just liked the blister packaging and everything about that. It just seemed so perfectly nuggetary, to use a word I just made up. I just think an important part of just being able to deal with life is being able to laugh at yourself or make fun of yourself. And it's like, I made my toy company called Suckadelic, you know, just because it's like the shit isn't that good. So it's like, why not just elevate the suckiness to this fourth dimensional place and just make it suckadelic? It's like a whole new adjective. I just don't want to come across as taking myself too seriously. It's like all this stuff is supposed to be fun. Sometimes my jokes are a little sideways and people don't get them or they get turned off and there's a lot of fuck you to what I do. At the very bottom, I'm kind of making fun of myself, but it doesn't always come across that way, and sometimes people think I'm an asshole. I can't imagine why. And there it is. And then that's it. And then I shoot myself, and then I sell them, and then it starts again. And that's what I do.